Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, everybody, it's me, True Powers Mine, and this is TPIM SR Live, baby. We got some information that you need to hear today. So sit down, grab a beverage with both hands, and buckle the fuck up. Today, we're going to be talking about Operation Garden Plot. And before we get into today's broadcast, I just want to thank, first and foremost, the Most High for yet again allowing me the privilege and the opportunity to do this show today. I also want to thank all the new folks that have checked out Cash App and showed love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whatever you have given, it is helping me become stronger and stronger. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, without further ado, let me get the set up so we can do a proper segue. The first excerpt you're going to hear, folks, comes from a speech given late 70s, early 80s. Okay? We're going to break that down, and then we're going to go to some more contemporary things. Sister Kiki, Alexandria, welcome to the show. Brother Fred, peace and fucking power. Let's do it.
Chapter 23, Military Takeover, Operation Garden Plot, Our Military and Civil Disturbances. The curious thing is, a civil disturbance plan called Garden Plot was in place more than 10 years before 9/11. See if you agree whether this is a blueprint for the military taking over during any protest or unrest that might seem to be getting out of hand.
My bad. Did I say late 80s, late 70s? I meant late 90s, early 2000s.
In case you still think the Patriot Act couldn't be applied to us. Turning the military loose in our country to take care of things. Isn't this what the National Guard is for? And doesn't that fall under the jurisdiction of the states and their governors? It seems that the feds shouldn't be coming in unless they're asked, which maybe they'd have to be now because the National Guard is off fighting in foreign countries. It's all ass backwards.
I was just about to say, they do have that ass backwards because I've had some buddies in the National Guard that did participate in Persian Gulf War I or Operation Freedom or Enduring Freedom. And they're supposed to be on the home front. But we're going to have it backwards. We're going to have active military on the home front and the National Guard overseas. This is what I was talking about. The plan has been in motion for a while. Let's continue.
We've got the Guard in Iraq, and they're trying to turn the regular military loose on our own citizens. Again, we owe that role reversal to George W. Bush. This operations plan, OPLAN, is entitled Department of Defense Civil Disturbance Plan. Its nickname is Garden Plot. This OPLAN provides guidance and direction for participation by all Department of Defense, DoD, components in civil disturbance operations in support of civil authorities. All parts of this OPLAN are unclassified. 2. In accordance with IAW DoD Directive 3025.12, the Secretary of the Army is the DoD executive agent for military operations in response to domestic civil disturbances within the 50 states, District of Columbia, Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, U.S. territories and possessions, and any political subdivision thereof. This OPLAN is published under the authority of this executive agency. Garden Plot applies to the military departments, the unified and specified commands, the defense agencies, and other DoD components for planning, coordinating, and executing military operations during domestic civil disturbances.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse.
All right. We don't need to hear all the other jazz. I bring this to your attention because I want to remind you, good folks, we're still in a state of emergency. We have all these draconian executive orders on the books, ready to go. We have a president, that one could argue psychologically might not be all there. What I'm saying is we have the perfect recipe for crisis. Once we go into crisis mode, then we had to go into normalization. Normalization usually involves an outside factor, boots on the ground, bringing back law and order. Brothers and sisters, I hope that you see the script. I hope you see the blueprint that I've laid out in all these shows I produced. I hope sincerely you're prepared for the inevitable. You're prepared for the coming calamity. I'm actually prepared today, y'all. I got shit ready to rock and go.
During debates on the banker bailout bill on the floor of Congress last week, Congressman Brad Sherman.
I want to give you some content not content, but I want to give you the setup on this. This was during the first banker bailout that took place in 2008. Judah lady, peace and power. Welcome to the show. I'm glad you got in here. Listen, brothers, sisters, we have a harsh road ahead of us. By design. This was not by accident. What you're about ready to go through, the pain, the loss, and the suffering, it was already written on. It's because we reject unity. We reject victory. No, I'm going to do it myself. Brother Chris, peace and power. We got to understand our greatest strength, our only weapon is each other. Now, the Most High, true enough, is the Almighty. But until things get to that point to where He gets involved, it's up to the strength He put in you and He put in me. Let's get back to the program.
Made a startling revelation.
Many of us were told in private conversations that if we voted against this bill on Monday, that the sky would fall, the market would drop 2,000 or 3,000 points the first day, another couple thousand the second day, and a few members were even told that there would be martial law in America if we voted no.
There is
Martial law is defined as the rule by military authorities imposed on a civilian population. According to an article in the Army Times last month, the administration's threats of implementing martial law is not idle talk. In this shocking article, the U.S. Army admits they're bringing a combat team back from Iraq to continue their mission in America, and that this combat team will be assigned to NORTHCOM to assist in the event of civil unrest, in crowd control through non-lethal weaponry. This deployment is, of course, in direct violation of long-standing laws known as Posse Comitatus and the Insurrection Act, which strictly prohibit the U.S. Army from policing American citizens on American soil. While such extraordinary steps toward the open implementation of martial law on the streets of America might seem like the Bush administration's last-ditch effort to keep the public in check while they rob the treasury of hundreds of billions for their banker friends, It is crucial to understand that this is only the final stage in a careful plan that has been unfolding for decades through both Republican and Democrat administrations.
Now, old boy ain't saying nothing that y'all ain't heard on this show before. All you new people, first time hearing the broadcast, and welcome all the international following. Thank you for checking us out here in the United States of America. Not America, but the United States of America. Duchess, welcome to the show. Peace and power. Listen, if we choose to continue down this path, if we choose to stay individuals, I don't know about you, True, but I got my 401k. I got my stock options. Wow. While you're sitting there on the sidelines, twiddling your thumb, waiting for the hammer to smack you upside the head, I'm telling you, there's something else you could be doing. Oh, you could absolutely be researching. You could absolutely be out there just, going from library to library, gathering all this information, which is cool. Or you could start right now making new friends. You can start right now building a network. Brother Marty, peace and power. Welcome to the show. And you can add to the probability of your longevity. What I'm asking you is to reach out and increase your personal boundaries today. Become stronger than what you were yesterday. Because you're a part of the family. You're a part of TPIM SR Lives network already. If you're listening to this broadcast, if you have listened to this broadcast for any period of time, even if you haven't subscribed, and I know a lot of you guys listening aren't subscribers, but that's cool. You know, it's like TPIM is like closet talk. Oh, I can only listen to this shit in the closet. Oh, I don't listen to that. Nope, I don't listen to that. But I know you listen to every show. The reason why I'm bringing you this information right now, I want you to see that when the draconian measures come down, when the Bible goes pop and the cards come tumbling down, what's going to transpire immediately after this point is not by happenstance or chance. People, if we were sitting in a movie theater and I was showing you guys America, the movie, and I started from the Bill Clinton time, him getting his dick sucked in the White House, jizzing on this bitch and sending her out the door, to Mr. Trump right now, you would say this is a joke of a movie. It would be so predictable. You would already see the main players. You already see Warren Buffett funding conservatives and liberal organizations. You would already see Planned Parenthood being purposely put in black folks' community to kill the babies, and then simultaneously Ray and Punk Booty comes in trying to teach the young boys and girls how to be gay. You would say this is absolutely crazy. Brother Derek, welcome to the show. Peace and power. You would say this is a poorly written movie. And I'm telling you, the script that we're going by, the people who put this thing together, they would rather use a bulldozer when a few kind words would work. You got to understand the folks that are in control are one of two things. Either one, they're fucking aliens, not even of this world, or two, they're demon possessed, which still would make their spirit and mind and mental processes alien to the average human being. That's why they can do such horrendous shit. And you think, man, don't they feel bad? What about karma? Get the fuck out of stupid shit. It's what about you standing up as a righteous man or woman and say, fuck, if my brother or sister ain't free, then I ain't free, damn it. Because as soon as you get finished with them, they're coming after me. Oh, it was a fictional movie, Brother Derek. I said, what if I presented all the information about the United States of America in a movie form, starting from Bill Clinton? The movie opens up. Picture this, Brother Derek. The movie opens up with Bill Clinton smoking a cigar, and you see a head coming up and down from around his desk. And then it kind of fast forwards to Linda Tripp talking about, hey, girl, let's put this up in a closet. You might need this, girl. And then it just, the snowball or the shit ball just gets bigger and bigger as it rolls down the hill. You'll see President Bush. Hey, we are one people, standing on the rubble of 9/11. And then you immediately see him slamming down whiskey, talking about, let's get this Patriot Act. I want to be able to go in people's homes without them being there. Plus, we need some oil. And then you hear Dick Cheney gasping for air. And I need a heart. You know, I mean, sorry, y'all. Maybe I went too far. But we get to the movie up to now, and you see what happens. You see President Trump beats his impeachment, followed immediately by the coronavirus, which will be followed by the collapse of the dollar, which therefore will ensue the majority populist revolution armed genocide. And then you'll see the remorse. Oh, wait, man, we didn't even see that one coming. Of course, there's not a black person inside. We're so sorry for what we did, and hopefully they can forgive us. And then we'll never be black folks there again. We got to understand, sister, lady, sister in the Most High. In the Most High, you are my sister. We have the same Father. We all have the same Father. That's why I say most of the problems we have here in the world, it's a family problem. It's an issue of who gets what and why. But I'm here to tell you, brothers, what you're wanting and what you think you're going to get ain't worth a damn anyways, because it's still dust to dust, ash to ash. So keep on loving your physical shit. Keep on loving your tennis shoes and your houses and your cars and your women folk dressed up in fancier garments and makeup. Keep on loving all that. Because for all you shallow, non-spiritual motherfuckers, that's all you got. Enjoy. Let's continue.
Government plans to suspend the Constitution and effect martial law have been taking place behind the scenes under continuity of government contingencies, first exposed in the mid-1980s and raised by Congressman Jack Brooks during the Iran-Contra hearings.
Colonel North, in your work at the NSC, were you not assigned at one time to work on plans for the continuity of government in the event of a major disaster? Mr. Chairman.
I believe that question touches upon a highly sensitive and classified area, so may I request that.
And may I point out something right here? Look at this guy. Look at his features. You see how they run block? Please understand. Y'all only know about the Masons and the Illuminati. Ooh, but there's another group. Its members consist of people of all shapes, sizes, and persuasions. This group is called Team Satan, Team Devil, Team Oppression, Team Objectify Women, Kill Black folks on sight. That team. They got goons from Maroons all the way to platoons and everything in between. You have to look at the character of the human being to understand what you're dealing with. You got to look them dead in the eye. That's why back in the day, you couldn't look people in the eye. You'll get messed up because most people cannot hide to any degree what's in their eyes. And if they can hide what's in their eyes, then they can't, the body will let you know. You only get one or the other. Either you can hide it through your body language, but you can see it in your eye, or else you let it be known in your eye and it comes out in your body language. Or you don't let it be known in your eyes. You can hide it in your eyes and it comes out in your body language. That's how you read motherfuckers. Look at this guy right here, Mr. Droopy Face. He knows he's bullshit. He's probably thinking about old girl getting dicked down by BBC at home. This dude is power hungry. He knows it's bullshit, but he wants to be up there with the big boys one day. This guy is praying that they don't find out the scandalous shit that he has been up to. And this dude's just running block for those who really run this country. And you could tell this. You know why? Because a picture tells 1,000 words if you know what you look for. Let's continue.
You not touch upon that, sir.
I was particularly concerned, Mr. Chairman, because I read in Miami papers and several others that there had been a plan developed by that same agency, a contingency plan in the event of emergency that would suspend the American Constitution, and I was deeply concerned about it.
Leclezo. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name. Welcome to the show. Peace and power. Glad you got in here. Now you can hear old boy talking. It's an old Southern motherfucker. I can already hear it in his words. I mean, guys, come on. Have you seen that cheesy bullshit ass Joe Biden commercial? Since when is Jim Crow Joe the savior of black folks? Since when is Joe, I'm gonna hug and rub your chick, Biden, a friend to humanity? That's what old boy was talking about. Both sides of this thing, Democrat or Republican, don't get caught up in the hyphens. Only get caught up in what the person's really about. Since the Democrats say so. I'm here. Brother Frederick, Joe Biden's going to say, you're not a black person if you vote for Trump. Really, you're not a black person if you vote for him either. You know, when he was young and full of spit and piss, and he was talking all that crazy shit, passing bills to get people locked up. Weird. Peace and power. Welcome to the show. You got to understand, if you want to be about liberation and economic empowerment, then fucking start promoting and voting for candidates that says thusly, I am here for the dignity and reparation and restoring of all rights and privileges to the black citizens of the United States of America. Not gay. I didn't say shit about transgender. I didn't give a fuck about lesbian. I said black, African, melanated, nappy head, beautiful black skin citizens who have been traditionally left out of the economic loop. We're going to give them a hand up, just like we did for the Oklahoma Hoosiers, just like we did for the 49ers in California. Those Buffalo Soldiers killed all those Indians, as the historians wants to try to say, which we know it's a lie. Men and women fought to subdue the wilderness of the West once upon a time, and West meaning west of the Mississippi, just so that that land could be carved up and given to white folks almost exclusively. And you say there's nothing wrong with that? You know, keep your bitch ass little monuments up, because as soon as we get economic viability and economic compensation, we will erect our own heroes, build our own schools. And you can sit there with your raggedy shit falling down because you know that you guys ain't gonna fucking maintain that. You ain't gonna sweep the floors and do the brick tuck point and shit. See, the problem is traditionally with this country, every time black folks get together and start building shit, you know what happens? That shit gets blown the fuck up. That shit gets burnt to the fucking ground. The brothers and sisters that put that together all suddenly starts disappearing like fucking whack-a-mole. That's what happened. But nobody wants to ever talk about that. No, true. You can't point to a black, community, blah, 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 because the motherfuckers get fucked up before they can come to evolutionary maturity, meaning that they're there for any particular length and period of fucking time. And if you call me a lie, then you need to do some fucking research, pal. This is what the fuck we're up against. We're up against a motherfucker that makes the Penguin, Joker, Riddler, all that bullshit from Batman look like a fucking daycare center. The people that put this shit together, that has all the trickery and all the douchery wrapped up in this, put this thing together because they knew what the fuck they were doing and what they wanted to achieve. Even if you are a so-called melanated winner, at the end of that race, you're fucking alone. Most of your people are only going to come around you just get a couple of dollars out your fucking stupid ass because, you're fucked. You had to totally conform. You had to totally become the fucking student of your mentor, who will 9 times out of 10 be a white person, non-melanated, that actually puts the fucking opportunity for you to get on. And if you call me a lie, once again, you need to do some research, pal. This is the way it is. I wish it wasn't, but this is the way it is. So therefore, let's stop pretending we're all kings and motherfucking queens. Let's embrace our fucking common humanity. How about that? Without having to be better than somebody else because you came from the right pussy and dick. That's all king and queen is. A motherfucker who came from those who are divine, right? And the rest of us are just fucking peasants. It's time for us peasant folks to realize we are the light of the world. We are the city on the hill. It is us. It is our bodies. It is our minds. It is our spirit. We are the ones who build this motherfucker. The poor. We are life. But now, if you don't believe me, and hold on, let me specify what is poor. Poor is basically anybody making less than $175,000 a year. So if you're not making $175,000 a year, my friend, you're really poor. And I know a lot of people are like, man, I make 80, 90, blah, blah, blah. You're poor, bud. I'm sorry. You really are. Accept it, embrace it. It's not a bad word, because you got to understand, rich and poor are human constructs built upon a system that is inherently skewed to one side, and it ain't yours. Let's continue.
One, if that was the area in which he had worked. I believe that he was.
I most respectfully request that matter not be touched upon at this stage. If we wish to get into this, certain arrangements can be made for an executive session.
Urban warfare drills took place throughout the 90s, with American troops training with foreign soldiers to arrest and detain U.S. citizens.
What you're seeing is real. April 10th through April 20th in Swansboro, North Carolina. This has been repeated across the country in the last 2 years. So-called urban warfare training in America. Of course, in the case of Swansboro, they actually pulled people over and searched their vehicles with the local police department. A local listener sent me this video of the Swansboro incident. You see, they take out groups of young officers from across the country in the Marine Corps and teach them that it's okay to go into American towns and cities and take over the city halls and search vehicles. In this training exercise, it became real. They become so arrogant, they just followed their orders and began to search people's vehicles.
Like I said, good, decent white folks. Once they're finished with us black folks, they coming for y'all. You think you're immune? You're poor. You're irrelevant. You're obsolete. And all this will be made true soon enough. Let's continue.
And Democrat administrations.
Hold on.
That matter not be touched upon at this stage.
Training with foreign soldiers to arrest and detain U.S. citizens.
What you're seeing is real. April 10th through April 20th in Swansboro, North Carolina. This has been repeated across the country in the last 2 years. So-called urban warfare training in America. Of course, in the case of Swansboro, they actually pulled people over and searched their vehicles with the local police department. A local listener sent me this video of the Swansboro incident. You see, they take out groups of young officers from across the country in the Marine Corps and teach them that it's okay to go into American towns and cities and take over the city halls and search vehicles. In this training exercise, it became real. They become so arrogant, they just followed their orders and began to search people's vehicles. And as you're about to find out, it's not just the Marines, it's the Army too, in Central Texas.
These drills quickly became reality, as in 2005, the National Guard was deployed in the wake of Hurricane Katrina to seize legally held guns from law-abiding citizens against their will.
Okay, this is where we got to part ways with this guy. All right. The reason why, because there were a lot of black folks getting shot up in Katrina. The aftermath, they had to disarm them. They had to. These folks were killing looter, brow, 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 or boom. Because for those who don't understand ballistics and the way it works, you get shot with a 22. I can take that bullet fragment, put it underneath a microscope, and determine what barrel it came from. Same thing with a 30, a 38, a 40, 45, 9mm. All these things leave striations on the bullet. Well, when you shoot out of a shotgun, you don't get that. Sims, welcome to the show. Peace and power. You don't get that. You can't do a ballistic check. All you can see is, oh man, this guy was, or this guy or girl or child was tore up by a shotgun. When the hammer comes down, and I'm so glad they talked about this on this, guns will be confiscated. All you guys buying these guns right now, and they're documented, that's going to a database. So they know where the guns are, and they're going to round them up one day. And you ain't going to do shit about it. You got to understand. We're about ready to go into the Third Roman Empire. The final empire. The electronic empire. You do know the Romans almost had electricity on a almost damn near commercial level. And this was like shit 2,000 years ago. There's nothing new, y'all. Our leaders keep telling us this time and time again. Oh, there's something. All this shit is old. Oh, I got a bow. I got a PSE right out back. I have a bow, compound bow, set on 85 pounds. Oh, you pull that back, you're a real man. And hold it. You better get the axe and you better get the sword as well. And you better be prepared to use them against people who have guns and lasers and drones. You see what I'm getting at? That was a little sarcasm, y'all. You better be prepared to either acquiesce to the new power coming down. I mean, bow the fuck on down. Or else you better be prepared to die. Let me say that one more time for the hard of hearing. You better be prepared to bow down to the new power that is to come. Or else you had better be prepared to die. There's not going to be a grand revolution. There's just going to be compliance. Period. If you don't like that, then guess what? You can die. These people ain't playing around no more. They don't have to. The tech is here. And for those who don't understand the tech, I'll be making a video about that very, very soon. Let's continue.
And at gunpoint.
No one will be able to be armed. We will take all weapons.
Police department! Police department at your home!
All of a sudden, they were banging on the front door, the side door, and the back door. And they said, let us in. I said, it's not even loaded. And I dropped it on the floor. Well, they punched me in the face. Look at my black and blue marks. Look at what they did to me.
See what they did to that peasant? Did you? I hope you did. This ain't no joke. See, now this is a lot of information or the type of program many of you guys probably would never see. And this is why I bring it to your attention, because this is what other people are tripping on. This little woman's elbow right here means more to more people in the United States because of the skin she's in. And they can understand, hell, that could be my daughter, that could be my wife, that could be my mother, my grandmother, and it's more personable to them. Because the media has done a damn fine job of dehumanizing us melanated people to where people can't hardly even relate to our experience. But they can relate to that. They can relate to someone coming to get my gun. They can relate to being powerless with soldiers around them willing to mess them up at a moment's notice. You guys have better understand, and I know many of you do. You understand how Ferguson went down, and then you understand how the federal building out there in Oregon went down with the Bundys. They get pizzas and pie. Ferguson gets tear gas and batons. One, people are saying, hey, the death of this dude was not right. Let's just go out to the streets. The other, we don't believe in the BLM. And that's not Black Lives Matter. BLM was in the media for a long time. It was the Bureau of Land Management. Bureau of Land Management. BLM. Black Lives Matter. Get it? Don't you see? So they were already stoking the flames between basically the letters BLM and conservative, hard, right-leaning, racist groups. So it's not even a jump for them to start hate. Oh, I hate BLM. Oh, there's another BLM. Hate, hate, hate. Let's continue. This gets horrible.
Hey.
In 2006, a secret government program came to light, which is recruiting clergy members to preach obedience to government in the event that martial law is declared. In 2007, the program was confirmed on CBS News.
If martial law were enacted here at home, like depicted in the movie The Siege, easing public fears and quelling dissent would be critical. And that's exactly what the Clergy Response Team, as it's called, helped accomplish in New Orleans.
Jeff, the primary thing that we say to anybody is let's cooperate and get this thing over with, and then we'll settle the differences once the crisis is over.
Such clergy response teams would walk a tightrope between the needs of the government versus the wishes of the public.
In a lot of cases, these clergy would already be known in the neighborhoods in which they're helping to defuse that situation.
For the clergy, one of the biggest tools that they will have in helping calm the public down or obey the law is the Bible itself, specifically Romans 13.
Because the government is established by the Lord, and that's what we believe in the Christian faith. That's what's stated in the Scripture.
And on May 9th, 2007,
did you hear that? The government is established by the Lord. So if the government's racist, has black slaves, The Lord loves that. I don't know what kind of Christian old boy is, but that's pretty whack. Governments are established by men for the benefit of man. Not mankind, but just a man. I'm sorry, women. It's not even for y'all. Now, of course, some of you females can get into it, become prime ministers or presidents or queens or whatever. But at the end of the day, it was men that formed it, men that sustained it. And it's a tool used by men who wield the power in the government. It has nothing to do with God. And that's what makes it so dangerous as a system. Because if there are demons out there and they are capable of possessing human vessels or bodies, then that puts all of us at grave danger. Now all the demons have to do is just possess the ones at the top. Bada bing, bada boom. The rest of society will follow. Let's continue.
President Bush signed off on National Security Presidential Directive 51. This top secret continuity of government plan effectively makes the president a dictator, allowing him to declare a national emergency for any reason whatsoever and implement martial law without the approval of Congress. The plan itself is so secret that not even members of the Homeland...
Hold on, can we replay that again so you guys can hear for a harder hearing?
...reason whatsoever, continuity of government. And on May 9th, 2007, President Bush signed off on National Security Presidential Directive 51. This top secret continuity of government plan effectively makes the president a dictator, allowing him to declare a national emergency for any reason whatsoever and implement martial law without the approval of Congress. The plan itself is so secret that not even members of the Homeland Security Committee in Congress are allowed to see its contents.
But now they've denied the entire Homeland Security Committee of the United States House of Representatives access to their so-called detailed plan to provide for continuity of government. They say, trust us. Trust us, the people who brought us Katrina, to be competent in face of a disaster. Trust us, the people who brought us warrantless wiretapping and other excesses eroding our civil liberties. Trust us.
These are just a few of the dozens of preparations that have already been completed to phase martial law in incrementally, bringing it about in stages, so an official declaration of military rule need not even be made. But if martial law is already a reality, what excuse will be used to turn the military against the American public?
Have you heard about this new thing going on in Great Britain that Al-Qaeda routing up all these Britons, essentially, 1,400 strong, apparently, in a new, what's being called a new white Al-Qaeda army. Tougher to detect, potentially.
Yeah, because they're not Muslims. They look just exactly like regular British people. They're converts.
Racist bastards. They look just like normal British people. I hope you guys are hearing what they're saying. Hold on. Please listen to this one yet again. Twiddle D, twiddle dumb, and twiddle even dumber.
Used to turn the military against the American public.
Have you heard about this new thing going on in Great Britain that Al-Qaeda routing up all these Britons, essentially, 1,400 strong, apparently, in a new, what's being called a new white Al-Qaeda army. Tougher to detect, potentially.
Yeah, because they're not Muslims. They look just exactly like regular British people.
They look just like regular British people. So my friends in London who are melanated, you guys ain't regular British people, even though you lived there all your fucking lives. Some of you even lived there a couple fucking 300 years. Your families. Some even longer. But you're not regular British people, according to Fox News and Friends. Like the old boy said right before that segment, we're supposed to trust our economic liberation and freedom and viability to people who brought us Jim Crow, to people who brought us lynching, to people who brought us slavery. Think about that. Because old boy wasn't hearing that bullshit. But yet we do. Maybe we should just bust out in a Negro spiritual right now. We will overcome. Shut the fuck up. You're not going to overcome on this trajectory. I'm telling you, you're not going to you will overcome. You're going to overcome life. You're going to overcome life into death at the hands of a person who hates your fucking guts. And they don't even know you. Let's continue. We only got a few more moments.
They're converts.
In 2001, Section 802 of the Patriot Act made any criminal offense, even misdemeanors, classifiable as terrorist activity. In 2006, the Military Commissions Act gave the executive branch the authority to declare U.S. citizens and residents unlawful enemy combatants and detain them in undisclosed locations indefinitely. And now, H.R. 1955, known as the Violent Radicalization and Homegrown Terrorism Prevention Act, currently awaiting passage by the Senate, will effectively outlaw dissent of the government, even on the internet. It seems the table has been set for those citizens who resist any government decree to be dealt with as terrorists by the U.S. military. And now that the banker bailout bill has been passed despite fierce public outcry, dissent has never been more rife amongst the general population.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
That's like the mob boss. Brother David, piece of power. Welcome to the show. That's like the mob boss. Now, every citizen in this city has a question to ask themselves. Either you're with us or you're a terrorist. And you will be dealt with accordingly. Man, that's some gangster shit. And y'all just thought he was a drunk motherfucker tripping over shit and busting up his eye. This is the son of the CIA director. What kind of man you think his daddy raised? All right. Let's jump. Let's check out the news headlines real quick before I release you all into the world. You can go and do what you do. Oh, well. Hold on. Coinbase lock you out. Uh-oh. The Brazil's president tests positive. Pandemic. Hold on. Let's pandemic accelerating. States mandates masks. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Expand list of quarantine. Mary Trump abused by dad. Niece exposed dynasty. Says called him a clown. I had to take Donald down. Wow. Jefferson's descendants wants memorial pulled down. See, this is what I'm saying. Jason Moon, peace and power. Welcome to the show. That's what I'm saying. When people who are genetically tied to these people that have been glorified, damn near made deities by people who had other agendas, they don't want that type of heat. Believe it or not, a lot of white people are actually ashamed of that legacy of racism and hate. Now, some totally embrace it. Some sit there and whack off, wishing they could be a slave master raping black women at will. Some wishing that they could sit there and cut on and mutilate the body of black men constantly. But beside of those psychotic freaks, a lot of people are ashamed of that. They're ashamed that their people weren't strong enough to handle their business without the use of slavery. They're ashamed that their people had to twist up religious doctrine to promote servitude and obedience of the slave. They are ashamed that the genetic legacy that they get is less than par. Yeah, you get the big fat bank account. Yeah, you'll get the country club legacy membership. But then after that, all you get is a trick bag of karma and mental energies. Let's just say that mental energies that are conflicting in you because you know what you're enjoying came off the backs and bloods of others. And you want to be a decent human being, so you can't reconcile that in your mind. So you just push it to the side. That's why you do your cocaine. That's why you drink your whiskey. That's why you go out and get your little prostitute, because you're trying to silence that voice you hear in the back. I know you don't want no one to know, but you hear that voice. Every time you drive through and you see those black folks suffering over there, you know you spending their money. You know that trust fund that just keeps on exploding. That should have been some of their money as well. Until they become economically viable, that voice will never silence, even in death, my friend. Because now you know, even in death, it will not be silent. Make it right now. Become a part of the liberation movement and economic empowerment of melanated people in North America. Take a stance today. Don't listen to the haters. Oh, you can't help me. Don't listen to the haters. You know what's right. And economic viability for all citizens is right. It's the right thing to do. Now, let's move on. As Confederate monuments fall, a Florida community to vote on putting one up. And that's well and good. Let these racists hold on, dude. Listen, you guys are sitting here trying to tell Nazis not to be Nazis. Now, in public areas, absolutely. Tear that motherfucker down. But that's your private land, dude. That's your private hacienda. Then you can build your Confederate everything. Build a little fort. Also build but make sure the fort's on fire and there's a white flag. You can't put the rebel flag in the fort because they surrendered. They were the losers. Let it at least be accurate to history. You can have a little fort. You can have two Confederate soldiers. And in fact, you can be liberal about it. They can be progressive. Typical liberal males. They can be kissing and making out while the fort's on fire. The slaves are running out this motherfucker. And the white flag's flying. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Because, the last time I checked, I didn't see a monument to Hitler. Last time I checked, I didn't see a monument to Stalin or Mao or the Khmer Rouge. Hell, I didn't even see a statue to the Queen of England, which everybody's bowing down to that chick. This whole side of the planet bows down to the Queen of England. Also, the Queen Mother of Malta. Even the Catholics are bowing. They don't tell you, but they bowing. So we don't have all those people. Then why do we have these other traitors and cutthroats? Oh, that's right. Because when the KKK infiltrated every damn aspects of society. These people voted because they used the tenet of America, the freedom, property, ownership. And they start putting this shit everywhere, even on public grounds, because they had the power. They had the night riders. They had the ghost in the dark, the spooks, to keep people in their fucking place. So I guess pulling down the statue is somehow telling the world, look, all these people are dead, which a lot of them are dead. Now, there's still some KKK members that are old as fuck, still hateful as fuck. They'll roll up in a rascal and try to lynch a brother. Put him up there on the back of my rascal, and I drag his ass down the street. Because they have that much hate. We got to understand, y'all. That member of the KKK, you guys want to talk about the Illuminati and Mason? Ooh, you better worry about them. They ain't going nowhere. Yeah, a lot of them are fat and sloppy, unattractive. They're not the Hollywood image of the Aryan buff guy. But there are some of them too. Sad thing about these cats, if they would actually become warriors for humanity, actually have a change of fucking heart, change of spirit, humanity would more than likely welcome them. Now, there'll be a few, I'm sure, on our sides that would never give up the faith and be like, no, that ain't going to work. But the vast majority would accept because they are a part of society. They are a part of humanity, whether they understand this fact or not. Because as long as it's generally accepted that every Homo sapien on this planet, whether you have a little Neanderthal in you or you're, full blood, human, whatever, you all come from Mama Kemet, the black woman holding that baby in her belly, giving birth and having more. It is time for us to realize either we all get on the fucking ship, we elect a proper captain, and we have a capable crew so that us cargo can get to our dreams and aspirations safely. Or if not, y'all gonna keep on squabbling. You're gonna catch the fucking boat on fire. The motherfucker's gonna blow up. Everyone's gonna end up in the water as individuals, being picked off by sharks and other creatures in the sea, or drowned in general. There's only one way. Either we come together, we're all stronger together, or we resign and accept our fates. And you all know your fate. This will conclude TPIM SR Live for today. I hope I've given you something to think about. I sincerely hope I give you something to research. And if I'm wrong, as always, please, in the comment, say, true, you a lie. You wrong. It's like this here, and bust that out in your comment. But you know that no one can do that because I'm not fucking wrong. And that's not arrogance. That's actually research. And you know what I'm saying is correct if we want to have a civilized society. If we want to continue down the road that we're on, oh well, good. That's where we're at. But live your life of integrity without hate, envy, and or greed. And as always, brothers and sisters, please, 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 let's try to be kinder to one another. Peace in our power, unity in our victory, and dignity in our respect. Liberation, I'm out.